What's up, everybody? If you never heard of me or seen any of the videos that I've done, I'm just going to give you a heads up. There's a good chance you're going to hear some coarse language and stuff like that. If that offends you, well, you best just beat it now. I'm not really going to change, the way I do things, just to cater to a politically correct crowd. But anyway, moving on. I'm talking about the Delaware State Motor Vehicle Inspection. See, here in Delaware, things is a little bit different than other surrounding states. You have to take your truck into a state facility to have it inspected and, make your shit legal, you know what I mean? This video is going to apply to pretty much anything that I've shown on my channel. So things that you may have seen on this channel, like my Trailblazer, my wife's Tahoe, my CK pickup, you know what I mean? It's all going to be the same, exactly the same. The purpose of this video is just to show you guys how I handle motor vehicle inspections on my vehicles, and just showing the same thing I've been preaching to people in real life for like the past freaking 15 years, you know what I mean? A lot of times people will take their vehicle up to a shop and they just get taken for a ride, you know what I mean? So what we're gonna do here is, my 98 pickup is due for inspection, and you guys are gonna hang out with me while I check it over and get it ready for inspection, you know what I'm saying? So let's do this. All right, the first tip here, you definitely want to go early. You can go, I think it's 90 days before this sticker expires. You can take it in any time during those 90 days and have it inspected. I highly suggest going in as soon as you can. That'll give you more than enough time to correct anything that needs to be repaired to pass inspection. Don't wait till December 4th to go up in there, because if your luck's anything like mine, something's going to fail. So the state of Delaware has this vehicle inspection program brochure, and that's what we're going to use as a little reference here. So we're right here in section 1 for the safety exam, and I'm just going to put a little mark next to the things that we can check ourselves. Well, we can definitely check the tires. This, blah, 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 blah. Now, in all my years going to motor vehicle, I've never had them check wiring and switches, the height of the truck. I'm not really into lifted trucks, you know what I'm saying? Really, the exhaust system check is if you have a catalytic converter or not. But a lot of this stuff right here, I mean, we can go ahead and just check this stuff ourselves. So let's just go over this. Before we get into tires, I'm going to throw up some footage from a couple weeks ago. I knew this was coming up. I knew I had to get on this, so we'll go show you what happened with the tires. All right, so where's Lincoln's head? Uh-oh. These tires are just worn to oblivion. Before I even go to motor vehicle, I'm just going to replace these two back tires. It's not even worth the ride going up there, because I know for sure they're going to fail. So, two back tires replaced. Ran about a little bit over 300 bucks, not too bad. Now for the glass, can't have any cracks in that windshield. It's hit or miss as far as if you get a little chip in there or something, maybe a little star. Sometimes they'll let you through, sometimes they won't. Well, my pickup here doesn't have that little line. It's usually on windshields. I think it's like the AS1 line. You can't have any tint or stickers that go below that thing. But like on my Trailblazer, they made me pull off my Carlisle stickers one year. That was kind of lame. So they don't say anything about windows on there, but I think glass is the same thing. You can't have any kind of tint on the front windows. In my experience, anything more than the factory tint, believe it or not, there is a little bit of tint, a little bit of factory tint on here. Anything over that's illegal. I know your cousin probably got a doctor's note so he can ride with tint with no problem, but we're not talking about your cousin. We're talking about everyday vehicles like this 98 pickup, you know what I mean? Every time I go there, they want me to roll the driver's window up and down just to make sure that it works. Now, I've never experienced this myself, but apparently they're getting more and more picky about your windshield wiper blades, at least in the front. Can't have any torn rubber. I had to go replace these. I think they were $6 each at Walmart. Not too bad. So when you get up there, they're going to say, turn your wipers on the highest speed. It's only got to work on one speed. So if you have one of these with that circuit board problem and an intermittent doesn't work, no big deal. As long as you got high speed, it's all good. Another thing they're going to have you do is check the horn. Well, shit. That's easy enough to do yourself. The next thing on the list is license plate. I'm not going to show my whole license plate on this because stalkers like this, they'll probably fail me for, because you can't see the tag number. There's supposed to be a tag number below that 14, and the way that this bumper's a little bit tweaked, you can't really see it. They might give me some shit over that. Anything that can block this inspection sticker, you guys remember those tinted license plate holders from back in the day? They'll fail you in a heartbeat for that shit, you know what I'm saying? Other things they failed me for in the past was when I bought a car one time and the guy had stickers on all 4 corners, and they failed me for that. So I had to go out in the parking lot and scrape off all the other stickers except for the most current one and go get rechecked. Pretty lame, but I guess it's a law for a reason, you know what I'm saying? The next part of this, they're going to test all the exterior lights of the truck. So this is going to include your parking lights, your license plate lights, which it looks like I've got one out. Got parking lights back there. They're going to want to test your low beams. They're going to test your high beams. They're going to test your turn signals. Turn signals on the right side. Cool, cool. They don't check fog lights. If your car has fog lights, they don't have to work. They're going to test your brake lights too. All I did was just wedged a 4-way lug wrench between the brake pedal and the seat cushion so I can check the brake lights myself. Good there. Good there. Good up top. If you've got more than one bulb in your third brake light, they all have to work. Why aren't we going to check the brakes on this thing? I tell you what, I could put my truck right here up on the lift and pull the wheels and pull the back drums off, and by looking at it, I cannot tell if it's going to pass or fail. The brake test in motor vehicle, they have you cruise in and then do a hard stop, and where you stop is actually on a machine that can interpret the braking power at each of the 4 wheels. Just trust me on this. There's no way you could tell if it's going to pass or fail just based on a visual inspection. If your brakes are fucked up, you're going to know it. Either the pedal's going to go to the floor and the light's going to come on in the dash. I would get a repair order at work, check over for motor vehicle inspection, and what do you want me to do? I do what I just did right there. I can't check the brakes. I can check the lights and the horn, the wipers, and all that happy crap, but there's nothing I can do for the brakes. Long story short, in my pickup, I'm not checking the brakes. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to see if it fails. If it fails, it's going to tell me what it failed for. It's not going to tell you what's wrong with the truck, but it's going to tell you what area of the truck that needs to be addressed. Alright, so we've covered our safety exam. We checked all that shit ourselves, minus the brakes, no big deal. If your vehicle fails for any of those things, you're going to get a little report which is going to show you what exactly failed. Here's an example of what happened when I took my Tahoe up there a couple weeks ago. Well, this is kind of unexpected, but I have a Chevy here that failed. The front markers need to be yellow. So, kind of cool. I was able to show this since my 2500 did pass. So no big deal. I just went down to Advanced Auto, picked up some amber bulbs, threw them in those corners, and she passed. Good to go. Tailpipe emissions test. We're not covering that in this video. There's nothing that I can do or say or give you any tips that's just not a whole bunch of bullshit. Alright, we're now at Section 3, onboard diagnostics. Alright, so check this out. If you live in Newcastle or Kent counties and you have a 96 or newer vehicle, the check engine light can't be on. The biggest tip I have for this is do not disconnect the battery before you go up to motor vehicle if you live in Kent or Newcastle County. So what are they going to do here? Well, 2 steps to the inspection. With the key on and the engine off, the technician determines if the check engine light works. The technician will connect the inspection tool to the OBD2 system to determine its status. So if the check engine light's on, it's going to fail. If the OBD2 monitors have not been run, it's going to fail. Now, what are OBD2 monitors? Man, there's a lot of glare on this thing. I'm really sorry about that. I hope you guys can see this okay. These are the Emission Readiness monitors. Now in this 98 pickup, you can see we have misfire, fuel system, components. We have a bunch of other stuff that doesn't apply to this vehicle. And then at the bottom you have O2 sensor, the O2 sensor heater, and the EGR system. These are what they mean by OBD2 readiness monitors. What this means is that certain parameters have been met that's going to allow the computer to monitor all this stuff right here. If you live in Kent and Newcastle County and you purposely or unpurposefully disconnect your battery or unplug your computer or something, these monitors will not be ready and you will fail inspection for that. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You guys have probably heard that old school thing, you know, just disconnect the battery to get your check engine light to turn off. Well, with these monitors, they're going to catch you for doing that. I mean, you're not going to get in any trouble, you're just not going to pass inspection. Let me tell you something, things like the EVAP monitor, depending on your driving habits, you may have to drive the car for several weeks to get that monitor to complete. And in the meantime, your truck is not inspected. Side note, all I was using was this little OBD2 wireless interface. I just used it with the Torque app on my Android phone. So there's a lot more things to it than that, but like I said, the biggest thing is that the check engine light will fail you, and if you try to clear the check engine light by either using a scan tool or disconnecting the vehicle's battery, it's still not going to pass the readiness monitor status. So they give you a little spiel about, you know, what if my car did not pass the OBD2 test, what should you do? It really depends on why it failed. You should probably take the vehicle to repair technician for service. Oh boy. If the light is on, the OBD2 system found a problem that needs repair, or if the MIL does not light up, the need for repair or replacement of the appropriate circuitry is necessary, which is awesome. Actually, it's not awesome, it sucks. This is a good note right here. Give your vehicle inspection report to the repair technician. It contains valuable information on your vehicle's problem. Absolutely. Section 4 is a pressure test, and again, this really isn't something that's do-it-yourself. On our 96 and over vehicles, which is what this video pertains to, they have OBD2. It does all the EVAP system checks and everything for you. We're not really worried about that. So, I think that covers this paper. So let's see what we got cooking here. Hopefully it's just a bad bowl. Cool. And guess what? I passed. Pretty cool, right? Well, one of the things you're going to notice on here, it's dated through 2016. That's another tip for you guys. Tag this thing for 2 years. You know, some people say, I'm not going to keep it for more than a year. I'll just get a 1-year tag. Look, let me tell you something. If your thing's not up for sale right now, you're not going to sell it before the year's up. You know what I mean? Just get the 2-year tag. It'll make everybody's life a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? You could probably recoup that extra 40 bucks, you know, when you sell the vehicle. You know what I mean? Always get the 2-year tag. You know what I'm saying? So I think we pretty much covered everything for this do-it-yourself check over for inspection. I guess now it's storytelling time. I can tell you some stories that will blow your fucking mind. I've worked with some real shady motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Not everybody's out to get you, but you just got to be careful, you know what I mean? I was working at a shop and a vehicle came in and they had the inspection paper that stated why it failed. It failed for brakes, along with the estimate from a dealer, $1,600 worth of repairs. I mean, these guys are going to put in the master cylinder, all lines, all hoses, calipers, wheel cylinders, rotors, pads, all this shit. Now I looked at the report that they got from Motor Vehicle, and basically what it said was the right rear wheel wasn't doing enough braking. I put that motherfucker up on the lift and I adjusted the right rear wheel and they passed. I think it cost them just the minimum shop charge, which was like a half-hour labor. $1,600. That's from a reputable dealership. Another thing I've seen is when somebody goes to a mechanic before they get inspected, the mechanic throws in some stuff that's not really relevant to anything that's going to be happening for the inspection. This could be anything from just putting spark plugs in it, to replacing different ignition components, to pouring bullshit in the gas tank. You know, anything to make a quick buck that really has nothing to do with motor vehicle inspection. Well, I think this about wraps it up for the state of Delaware do-it-yourself pre-inspection inspection, I guess you could call it, you know what I mean? I do a lot of GM truck and SUV repairs on this channel. If you're into that kind of thing, subscribe. If not, no big deal, it's all good. Thanks for watching, and good luck getting your thing inspected, you know what I mean?